Welcome back, guys, and today I am super excited. Just wrapping up the work week here, work day, and now it's time to play. So been working away. Anthony's car, you'll see up on the lift. His car, I just got done putting the fuel system in it, so his car has already been through the braking process, I guess. It's got 500 miles on it, so I'm just gonna go ahead, put it on the dyno from here, get the pump gas tune done on the car, and then we will work our way up on ethanol to get it where we need. Obviously I'll put it on there with what fuel we got there, put it on pump gas, take it off. We'll go put some E in the car, get the content up, and that thing is gonna be a ripper. Can't wait for that. You guys are gonna see in the background, we got a beautiful red STI in here. You guys are gonna see more on that soon. That is Jeff's car, and I'm super excited to show you guys this car. It is one that I built about 4 years ago, and he came all the way up from Portland, had the car transferred here, and we are going to be working on that, so stay tuned for that. But today, this is what I'm excited for, guys. Wrapping up the end of my day. Honda is all the way together enough that we can start doing some tuning on it. And those of you guys who have been following this will know that this is our GSR motor. This is a B18C1. It's a stock long block. It does have a first gen Skunk 2 or blocks intake manifold. I did put a BDL 70 mil throttle body on it, just a standard no name intake with a K&N filter, some no name 4-to-1 header on it, and it has a factory exhaust. So that's all it's done to this thing. I would be happy if we could see maybe 160 today, maybe 170. I think the stock cap back on this thing is definitely going to hold it back. It does have a test pipe in it, so that's another thing. And you guys will notice here a couple good bits. So these are going to be going on the build. That's going to be the color thing for this car. It's going to be black and purple and some silver in the background. So that is going to be it. I put just a couple of those on there, and like I said, it's time to get this thing on the dyno. Gonna play with this. This is not our forever motor, guys. Those of you wondering, we're not staying all motor. That's not why I gutted out everything here. So the car is getting ready to go off for fab work to get its turbo kit built. The motor, I wanted this one in there for the turbo kit because it's a 1.8. Being a 1.8, they have a taller deck height, changes the way the motor sits, so wanted to make sure that we had the motor in it that we're going to use later on down the road. So that's what's going on. I just have this motor, so I might as well go ahead and play with it on the dyno and get a kind of an idea of what it's like to be able to use the Honda S300 tuning software. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing pulled out, let it warm up, and get this thing on the dyno. So go ahead and drop down. What do you think it's going to make down below? GSR motor, I think it's been so many years since I've been in Hondas. I think they make 170 at the crank, maybe 180 at the crank. So 160, 170, I think that's a pretty good number to hit. We'll see if we can do it. We'll see how tired this motor is. Has 155,000 miles on it from my knowledge. That's the car it came out of. But I knew some things on the car just didn't add up. One being, like I told you guys before in the last video, we didn't have the right transmission. Two, I can tell it's already been worked on because it has a different intake manifold on it, and the whole motor was painted. Whether that means someone was just trying to clean up a motor in the past, or maybe it was rebuilt at once upon a time in its life, I don't know. So, like I said, gonna get this thing warmed up, get her pulled on the dyno, and we're gonna go crack some VTEC. Of course, guys, just my luck. So when I put this in here, this car had a really noisy throttle bearing, and so I took the one out of the Integra. I figured it had to be better than the one that was in the Civic, and you're gonna hear this in the background. I think it was worse than the one that was in it. Listen to this thing. Look at it. If I push it in, it goes away, and it comes back, and it goes away. Sick. Well, that's, you guys will hear that noise in the background, but oh well. We got a nice triple disc on the way for this thing. That's right, boys. We're gonna party. Let's get this thing on down. Alright, car is all on. I went ahead and already set the timing on the car. That's something you got to do. Obviously with something like this where it's a distributor car, we're using the S300, you always want to check the timing. And that goes for any standalone, guys. So any standalone that you put in their car, meaning like Haltech, Motec, just Link, just a couple ones off the top of my head. Definitely check your timing. Doesn't matter to the car. So that is all synced. That way, what we're running on the ECU is the actual timing the engine is seeing. So that's all done. Car's on. Ground for the wideband's on. Wideband is hooked up. Obviously, it's not reading because there's not enough exhaust pressure. But we are ready to do our first hit, and we're going to see how close the fueling is. And keep an eye on that. If I can't see it that much on there, I might put a wideband in the car. But I should be able to see on the dyno once we start moving. So let me turn these fans on, and we'll get to it. Fan, pucker. That should be a lot better. First pull's done, and we did 142 and 108 torque. So you can see on the graph here, I'm going to lower VTEC. It's hitting pretty high. I'm going to lower it down to kind of clean up that little dip there. Seems like our wideband on the dyno took a shit, so kind of going blind right now. Not the way I would ever recommend tuning, but it is my personal car, and I don't really care what happens. So I'm going off feel and looking at the data log. I really am going to put a wideband in this thing probably tomorrow at the end of the day. But for now, I'm going to lower VTEC, clean it up, and just see if I can get that power graph to be straight up. So I'm going to do that now. And I think it cut off on the video there because we ran out of space on the memory card. So let me go ahead and set up the camera, and then we'll do another poll here in just a moment. Alright guys, I went ahead and dropped VTEC. It was at 5700, which is pretty high for a GSR. I went ahead and dropped it down to 5200. We're going to see how much that cleans up our graph and how much better it'll be. But go ahead, hopefully these fans won't block out our good old VTEC sound. So let's get set up, do another poll. Alright guys, second pull done. 145 and 108 torque. Let's take a look and see if we cleaned our graph up here. So yeah, we definitely cleaned it up. It almost looks like it still wants it just a hair lower. So look at that top end though, definitely picked up. So I'm going to clean that up a little more. I think I'm going to drop it even lower. I'm going to put it down. Let's do 4,800 and see where that gets us, because like I said, right now it was at 52, but it seemed like it really didn't hit until about 54, 55. So I'm going to try that, see what happens. I do have another wideband I just saw over here. Car's happy though, car's picking up power. I'm sure I could probably lean it out a bit more and make more, but let's go ahead, lower that VTEC again, do another pull, and see what she makes, guys. Alright, I lowered VTEC down 4,800. Let's go ahead, see what happens, see if we can clean that graph up even more, and see if we can make even more power. That's what we want. Going into this, like I said, I want to see 160, 170. I don't think we're going to make it. I think if we crack a 150, I'll be pretty happy. I mean, that's a pretty big gain over what we started with. What we started on, it made 135 the first pull. So I've already gained 10 horsepower. So if we can gain even another 5, that'll be awesome. So let's go ahead and do another pull. There we have it, guys. Did another pull. With being all motor, guys, we're not going to see big gains. This isn't like a turbo car. So looks like we made pretty much the same thing. I can't remember what it made the last time. It was 145, and I don't remember the secondary number, but we made 145 and 104 torque, so we lost a little bit of torque, and I'm guessing some of that has to do with me having the VTEC come in lower, but look at how nice the power graph is there where it takes over. So definitely is a nice graph. I'm going to go ahead and switch out the wideband on here. I have another wideband sensor here. I'm going to put it in. I think, like I said, this one just smoked itself out. I want to see what air fuel is, because if we can mess with air fuel, there might be some power to be had there. Obviously, you know, this is kind of just a base map and going into the dark side here. Like I said, don't recommend this, but I got another sensor right here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this in, see if that fixes our sensor issue, and we'll kind of go from there, guys. Alright, new sensor in the dyno. Looks like we got some sort of a reading here, so hopefully that means that we fixed that issue. So I'm going to do the same exact pull just to go back to back. That way I can get where we're at with our air fuel, and then we can start making changes on the fueling map if we need to. I guess we'll just kind of see from here. And to give you guys an idea, I started out with stock 2001 ITR map that was on the Honda S300. So that's what we've been going off of for our base map. Obviously, I'm now a Honda specialist. I don't have Honda maps built up, so we're going to try that, see what it does. I'm assuming that fueling is going to be somewhat off. You know, different car to different car. This being a smaller camshaft on this motor, probably going to be a bit leaner. It's probably going to need a bit more fuel, is what I would assume, or we're going to be ripped. So let's just go ahead, do the pull, see where we're at, and I'll show you guys what's going on. Guys, no changes other than just letting the car cool down, get some cold air, and it looks like we gained 3 horsepower just by doing that. So 148 and 104, so not too shabby. Getting close to that 150. We did have air fuel on there, and we are going to need to do some work. So this is what we got here. You can see on this one, the green being the one we just did here. And then let's go over to air fuel and show you guys. Obviously we don't have no boost yet, and obviously this is jumping all over the place. So we came in here 47, we were at, of course it's not going to read it because of the boost, we were at like 13.0, 12.8, and then it went all the way up to 14.0 at 5,300. So we definitely need to add some fuel there, and then up top we were like 12.2 is what I saw on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and correct some fueling in it, throw some fuel in it at 5,200, 5,300, and then we're going to see if we can pick up any power. My assumption is leaner is meaner, and it may lose power by adding fuel, but we could have detonation going on with being that lean, and we could pick up power. I guess we'll only know by doing it, so let's go ahead, correct it, and from there we can do another pull. Alright, I went and got a new battery for the camera. I went ahead and splashed some more fuel up top, and we're going to see if we can make some more power or if it's going to lose power. I think it's going to lose power, but let's see what happens. Okay, wrapping up that pull, we didn't really gain anything. In fact, we lost half a horsepower, but we gained 4 foot-pounds of torque, and we gained a much cleaner graph, so that is a plus. We are still making progress. I did drop VTEC another 150 RPM, so it's at 4650 right now, and it seemed that it did like it. So let's look at our fueling here. See if I clean, come on. So definitely need to clean this up. I'm not used to how Hondas work. Obviously this is the first time ever tuning one, So I'm was just playing it safe for how much fuel I was putting in. You can see here we're coming in at 5,000, we're at 13.5, so I need to add a bit more fuel there. And then we're at 12.5, and then it comes back up to 12.8, and then comes back down. So I'm gonna go through and clean this up. Try to get it as clean as I can to ride that 13.0, maybe 12.8 all the way across. So I'm gonna do some work on that, see what I can do, and we'll check back, see if we gain any more power, and we'll do some more pole skis in this thing. Having fun. It's definitely a learning experience. All motor obviously is hard to get power. I didn't expect this thing to make a ton of power, and I didn't really care if it did make power. The point of right now is for me to learn and working with the software, and it is pretty easy, guys, so enjoying it. I'm gonna go ahead and make those changes, see if we can pick up some more power and at least clean that fueling map up. Of course, the one pull I do without you guys, we gain a good bit of power here. 152 and 111, and definitely a nice smooth graph. Definitely still working out the fueling map here. It's definitely getting a lot smoother, so I'm gonna try this and just doing small changes, and from there we'll be seeing if we can gain more power. I'm adding fuel in, so like I said, not too surprised that it loses power. I did add a bit of timing in, so let's see what we can do here. We're gonna do this test inside the car, see how it would go. All right, come on, VTEC. We did gain power. Holy shit. Let me save this data log real quick. Data log, save. Alright, we saved it. Now let's pull up our graph here. Oh yeah, getting better, guys, getting smoother. Let's see about the fueling map though, because that's what we're trying to really work on here. It's definitely getting better. Just a little dip there and that. I just need to clean that up and we'll be doing a lot better, but definitely a lot cleaner than it was. 155 and 111. Hell yeah, we started out with 135, so I gained 20 wheel on this. Torque I think was 104 or 108 was the very first one, so we haven't gained very much torque, but in the end we gained a much cleaner graph. So let's see if I can pull it up here. Go back out of this view trace, and I'll pull up the very first run here. Just to show you guys. So there is where we're at after our first run. So I'm pretty happy of that for an all-motor car. I mean, that's a pretty big gain, guys. Wow. That makes me pretty happy. Picking this up pretty quickly, guys. So let me make a couple more changes. I'm going to try to clean up that fuel map some more. I don't know. Maybe she does have a 160 in her. I didn't think it did after where we started, because I know all motor is not the easiest to gain power. And one thing to note, the gas smelled awful in this car when I pulled it apart. Didn't really think about that when I put it on here, and as you can see, we are pretty low on our fuel of God who knows how old fuel and what fuel. I don't even know. It could be freaking 87 for all I know. So probably should have put better fuel in it, but oh well. Let's go ahead, clean this up, see if we pick up some power. Maybe get 160, maybe. Alright, I got my window down here, let me roll this thing up. But did another pull, clean up the fuel, and you can see we're definitely getting, let this thing focus, definitely getting a lot cleaner. This is very zoomed in, guys. And we picked up another horsepower, 156.3 and 112 torque. So definitely going in the right direction here. Graph, beautiful, looks very nice. I almost want to try to play with this torque more here, maybe by shifting over to VTEC and just see what it would do. So let's do that. Might as well, let's just see what happens. So we'll go back over to parameters. VTEC. We're gonna move this back over. Let's just put it at 5 and see how the car responds to it. I don't know why I didn't save that. Not 500, 5. Save. We'll go to live. Make sure the ECU has it. Go over to tables. Alright, now let's go ahead and go to our dyno. Let's start our tests. Let's look at the graph. Almost looks like we're still gaining, but it looks like it rolled over right there at 8, so I don't think there's really any reason to rev it out anymore. I mean, we can try it. We can rev it out to 82. Start test. Go over here, data log it, and let's see what happens. Come on, girl. See if that helped. No, I did not. 154 and 111, and I'm gonna guess the graph is not as pretty. Has a little bit of a dip right there. Let's look at versus our old one here. Go back down. This will be our last one. Really didn't lose anything of it. It actually gained right there. Again, this is super zoomed in. Let's look at, let's unload that one, and let's see if our fueling got any better as I try to work on this slowly. Still that fucking dip. For you guys wondering what the dip is here, we're 13.0, now we're coming down 12.6, then comes back up 13.2, 13.1. So I'm going to try to clean that up again. What the heck? Keep on working with it. Every freaking time I cheat you guys out of a pole, it gets better. 158 and 114 torque, guys. Definitely getting it smoother here. As you can tell, we still have a little bump there, but I'm getting it smoother as we go. Take a look at this graph. Super happy of that, guys. That is a nice graph. So really happy of how this thing's turned out. 158, guys. I'm so freaking excited about that. We started off with 135, so we gained 23 horsepower. I mean, that's a pretty big gain on NA. I'm super happy. I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera up, make a little bit more fueling adjustments, and let you guys hear this VTEC, because the last one, it cracked pretty hard. Now I'm gonna set the camera up, and it probably won't, but I'll try to find a place to put the camera so you guys will get to hear it. Well, boys, I'm stuck at 158. Damn it. Trying to get more out of it, but I don't know what fuel's in it. I think I'm going to try to get some better fuel, put it in the car. But let's do a couple pulls and let you hear this VTEC, because it is sounding so good. Let's do it. I'm having way too much fun, guys. This thing is awesome. Oh, you know what's next? Launch control, baby. Yeah. Activate. Turn this shit on. 4,500, huh? I don't know. We'll do 5. Probably too high. 48. 5. Which one are we picking? 5. Alright. Input. Alright. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah, baby. Oh boy. I don't even know if we can do some retardation here. -5. 5%. I have no clue what the fuck this is gonna do. Well, that didn't do anything. I'll probably have to play that more. It's probably not for All Motor. I was just having fun. Alright guys, that is gonna wrap this up. I know some of you probably are bored. I'm sorry. Some of you probably enjoy this because it's on the content. I'm having a fucking blast. I'm gonna turn these fans off, turn this thing off. And for those of you that stuck around this whole time, thank you guys. I appreciate you. I can't wait to do more with this car, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I'm like a kid at heart right now because this thing, it just reminds me of when I was way younger, guys. And we're getting to that age where we're getting older now, and this is just something that brings me back to a time where I was definitely a lot less fortunate, and I'm very grateful for where we are. Thank you guys. Thank you for all your support. 158 horsepower. We almost cracked that 160 wheel mark. It's on a Mustang dyno. I don't know if the Mustang is really going to affect our numbers too much with being like a two-wheel drive car, I guess is what you call it, front-wheel drive or like rear-wheel drive. I'm not sure. I really never had them on here, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how today went. Learned a lot. Excited for the future, guys. So thank you for tuning in. It's going to wrap it up for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. I love this thing. This thing is fucking awesome.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas. Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus. The bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment. The moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash. Bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living